Good evening and welcome to Monumental Accomplishments, the TV show where guests share with us the amazing things they've done. Some guests intrigue us, some guests inspire us,
and some guests insult us by making us realize we've done nothing significant with our lives and our dreams have crashed and burned on a late-night public access show watched exclusively by old people who never learned to use their remotes.
Hi, Grandpa.
This is my co-host, bright and lively, looking as sunny as ever.
And this is my co-host, Avery Crossman, who, believe it or not, seems slightly cheerier than usual.
Well, I slept past 12 today, so I have fewer waking hours to be consciously aware of my pitiful existence.
Sounds like a great afternoon. It's your birthday, too. How's that going?
Pretty epic so far. I put a used candle on a stale pancake at a birthday brunch I ate alone.
Did your wish come true?
Still hosting this show, so apparently not.
Well, speaking of food, I started a new diet that's going really well. A daily dose of 3 square meals.
And what did you eat today?
A piece of toast, a saltine cracker, and an individually wrapped slice of imitation cheese. I was going to eat this chocolate bar for dessert, but it's more of a rectangle than a square.
Why didn't you break it in half?
Well, that would be 5 square meals, Avery, and that hardly seems like a diet.
Okay, enough small talk. Let's get on with the show.
Right. Please welcome our first guest, Parker Milton.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us about your monumental achievement.
Well, I haven't won an award or done anything to improve the world.
That's okay. We all measure success in different ways. Brighton here doesn't measure things at all.
It's so confusing. I mean, a ruler is a foot, but it's way bigger than my foot. And a yardstick, it's supposed to be a yard, but it's way smaller than my yard. And a cup is a cup, but all of my cups are different sizes.
See? Nothing to be embarrassed about. Now, tell us what you've done.
Well, I bought my first house.
That is a monumental achievement. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's on Virginia Avenue.
Sounds lovely.
How are you feeling about the big purchase?
Excited. A little worried too, I guess. I spent just about everything I had.
You sure it was a good idea?
Well, I have money coming just around the corner, and I should earn some back with rent too. It's a great location, right by the railroad.
Well, I do hope it works out for you.
Thanks. For now, it's just nice to have a safe place to lay my hat.
Lay my hat. There's an expression you don't hear every day.
Wasn't really an expression. I'm talking about my actual hat.
It does sound a little old-fashioned.
Well, I suppose I have been a little out of things for a while. Spent some time in jail.
Jail?
Would you mind if I ask why?
No, Avery, I think that would be a really good question. I was going to ask the same thing myself.
It wasn't really anything serious. I took a chance and it turned out badly.
How long were you in?
About 3 turns.
Turns?
Rolls of the dice. Luckily, I tossed up double twos and snatched a house for $100.
We bought a Monopoly house.
I could hardly buy a real house for $100.
Well, it must feel really good to be moving forward again.
Stop. Back it up. Let's try this again. Buying property in a board game is not a monumental achievement.
No, you don't know how bad the game was going.
I know how bad this show is going.
Well, I've done other amazing things.
On a Monopoly board?
Yes. But there's more.
Terrific. What have you done?
I solved a murder.
Maybe you should have led with that.
It was Professor Plum in the study with a candlestick.
Okay, we're done.
But there's stuff we haven't talked about. I removed a funny bone. I made it to Candy Castle. I fed a very, very hungry hippo.
That's surprising since you've clearly lost your marbles. Okay, I think we'll move on to another guest.
Already?
Playing games is never going to result in a monumental achievement.
What if I played a Scrabble word worth 1,000 points?
Improbable.
I don't think improbable would work. I need a word with a bunch of Z's and Q's. What if I made an octuple jump in checkers?
8 jumps in a single move.
Yup,
That would be amazing.
it sure would.
So you haven't actually done it.
No, but I can dream, right?
You sure can.
If you leave right now, you can go to sleep and start dreaming right away. Here, I'll play something as you go.
Angry Birds? Tetris?
Exit music. So many good songs on here. Perfect.
I don't hear anything.
We can't afford royalties, so the volume's down. Just imagine a classic rock beat with ironically appropriate lyrics, cleverly playing you out.
I'll do my best.
Maybe you can come back one day with a non-game playing achievement.
Wait a minute. I actually have one of those.
Terrific. What is it?
I finished a book.
You had one?
No, I put pen to paper and poured ink and passion onto every page.
You wrote a book?
I unscrambled the words, found the hidden pictures, and made it to end of all the mazes.
I'm just gonna wave the phone at you like I'm directing you off.
What a fascinating first guest.
Are you watching the same interview I was?
I don't know, which one were you watching?
Well, folks, like a movie from MGM Studios, we are off to a roaring start.
I'm confused.
The MGM line from the beginning of their movies? Never mind. It was lame.
The lion was injured?
No, the reference was lame. Off to a roaring start. MGM films start with a roaring lion. Roar!
That was a really good lion impression.
Hard to believe my talents didn't take me further.
It could take you lots of places. You could be a lion in Narnia or Oz, Madagascar. Don't you wish some of those places were real?
Kinda wish this place wasn't. Well, it looks as though our next guest is ready to go.
Please welcome Dr. Knox Donahue.
Good evening.
Not so far, but we're happy to have you on the show.
Maybe you're just happy to get rid of that first guest.
Right. Wait. What?
The happiness you're experiencing may be more about the situation you've gotten yourself out of rather than the one you're currently in.
Or when I said, we're happy to have you, I was just ad-libbing an introduction.
In my profession, we don't believe in ad-libbing.
You're obviously not a freestyle rapper.
I'm a doctor of psychology.
Well, Dr. Psych would make an awesome rap name. Feel free to use it if you change careers.
So there are no ad-libs.
No ad-libs and no accents. There's a deeply rooted psychological explanation behind our every word in action. I wrote about it in my book.
Well, what's your book called?
There's a deeply rooted psychological explanation behind our every word in action. It didn't sell well.
Do you think there was a reason for that? Do you think it was badly written?
I'm not here to talk about my book. I'm here to talk about my monumental achievement. I wanted to show the world that I was more than just an intellectual, and I could complete a task of pure physical strength.
What did you do?
I climbed to the top of Mount Highness.
Really?
For those of you who don't know, Mount Highness is a giant cavernous mountain at the edge of town.
A steep and deadly peak in the heart of a dark forest that few have attempted and none have conquered.
Until today.
Today?
Well, I got back today. Moments ago, actually. Still catching my breath.
And you can prove this?
I mean, he does seem to be breathing kind of heavy.
Can you prove that you climbed Mount Highness?
Ooh, did you leave something on top to prove you were there?
What good would that do? It's not like you have a helicopter to fly up and check.
True. I can't even afford a car. I have a skateboard, though. Sort of. It's an old pair of skates nailed to a broken bookshelf.
At least you found a way to put the bookshelf to use.
That's a positive way to look at it.
No, it's not. I think Dr. Psych was being insulting, suggesting you don't read.
You're really being mean?
I think I was.
Must be a reason for insulting me, right?
Consider being a jerk a reason.
No. It's deeper than that. First, you made light of my book sales, questioning my intellectual genius. Then you acted suspicious of my Mount Highness claim, casting doubt on my physical prowess.
Well, that wasn't our intent at all.
It may have been mine.
Can't be rude to our guests.
So Dr. Psych just gets away with the bookshelf crack?
Don't be silly. That bookshelf was cracked before the doctor even got here.
My subconscious must have acted out. It won't happen again. I'm just trying to tell the world about making it to the top of Mount Highness, but...
It's kind of an uphill battle.
And now you're making puns.
Am I? How exciting! I've never done that before.
Why do you insist on mocking me? This was an incredible accomplishment, a huge mental challenge, ascending to the peak, and an extreme physical test, braving the descent. I've done what no other has done before me.
Well, I just hope you took a moment to enjoy the view.
We did.
We?
My twin and I.
We assumed you climbed Mount Highness alone.
That's your fault, not mine.
You never mentioned your twin before.
Did you mention your twin?
This is getting weird.
Sure it is. I didn't even know I had a twin.
Can we talk about me and what I've done, please?
You mean what you and your twin have done?
Yes, of course.
Funny how you keep forgetting to mention the other person with you.
There has to be a reason behind that too, right?
I think someone is trying to hog the spotlight.
That's absurd. You don't even have a spotlight.
Why isn't your twin here with you?
I forgot to bring him.
To the show or down the mountain?
I did not strand my twin on a deadly mountain. Purposefully.
I thought you said there were no accidents.
There's going to be one if you don't stop these accusations. I demand proper credit for what I've done.
The police can give you what you deserve.
Authorities are no threat to me. I shall return to the scene of my triumph, reclaim Mount Highness as my own, and prove my intellectual and physical superiority to the world.
Travel safely.
Another unbelievable guest.
Yes, truly fascinating.
No, I meant unbelievable as in I'm not sure how much of that I believe. And how many more do we have?
Well, that's 2 down.
Unless that was all true, then it's 2 down and 1 up a mountain, stranded by an evil twin doctor.
There's an evil twin doctor on my favorite show.
A soap opera?
A telenovela.
You speak Spanish?
Nope, I just can't figure out how to use the remote.
Is that something you inherited from your grandfather?
No, it came with my TV.
Well, your grandfather's watching tonight, right?
Always does. Love you, Grandpa.
Right? We should keep going then. Don't want to disappoint the one viewer we know we have.
Where are we going from now?
The line that you just delivered. We'll do the one after that.
Okay.
And Jess hasn't arrived. Even our guests have stopped paying attention.
What now?
I'll play some music to kill time.
I could sing a happy birthday.
That would not be good.
Because of royalties?
No, because you can't. Yeah. Royalties.
I'm here. I didn't think I would make it.
Neither,
Yes?
neither did we. Nice of you to get dressed up for the show.
I I was running late. I put on what I could.
Well, you hide your bathrobe in a very fancy bow.
Uh, more of a not really. Couldn't do it. I had to put it on over my head like a shirt.
Because you couldn't find a shirt?
Not one that fit for television. I did wash my best pair of shorts. Didn't dry them though, or put them on. But they're clean.
Well, why were you so behind schedule?
Let's just say I was very busy trying to complete my goal.
You were?
No, let's just say that, so I don't have to admit to oversleeping.
Sleeping before the show. That's new. Most people sleep during it.
I don't mean to make a bad impression. Really, I'm glad to be here. Honest, I'm just, well, unmotivated sometimes.
That's completely understandable.
Good, because I started falling asleep halfway through what I was saying. I was afraid I mumbled.
Why don't we get started before you doze off completely?
Right, so I could tell you about my amazing feat.
You mean your monumental accomplishment?
That too, but I mean my amazing feet. I don't scrub them, so I built up a protective and somewhat decorative coating. Saves a bundle on socks. Want to see a close-up?
Not by a long shot.
We don't want to run out of time.
Or patience.
Right, makes sense. My accomplishment then. I did something really cool to impress someone at a local karaoke bar.
One of the performers?
What?
Was the person you impressed one of the singers at the karaoke bar?
I wasn't aware they had entertainment.
Why do you go then?
Free refills on ginger ale and a bottomless bowl of peanuts. Also, I have a big crush on the bartender. And the bartender's always talking about the Beatles.
They have bugs in the bar? They probably crawl up through the bottomless bowls.
The Beatles, as in the music group.
Right.
I learned every song the Beatles ever did.
That's impressive.
I wanted to show that I was willing to make an effort.
Well, you certainly dressed the part. So what do you play?
Play?
Beatles played all kinds of instruments on their songs. So what do you play? Piano? Bass? Sitar?
It's guitar, Avery.
I'm not a musician.
A vocalist then?
Not a professional one.
Me either. I do sing around the house though. Nothing like the acoustics of a shower, am I right?
I never did try that.
The singing or the showering?
Not a fan of either. I just learned all the songs would be cool. Romantic Jester.
Definitely. How long did it take you to learn all the lyrics?
Lyrics? Oh my. Could you imagine that? That would have taken forever.
Stop. Back it up. Let's try this again. When you say you learned all the songs of the Beatles, you mean you learned?
The titles.
Unbelievable.
They did record over 200 songs.
How'd you go about learning them? Chronologically? By lead singer?
The Beatles had more than one singer?
They had 4. Of course, Ringo sang a little less than the others. Ringo Starr, the drummer? Not the original, of course. That was Pete Best.
Look, I don't have a huge staff of paid researchers to dig up obscure trivia and make me look smart. I just came here to show my exciting accomplishment.
And we're excited to hear about it. Aren't we, Avery?
Yes, we should get back to your story.
Thank you.
Get back to your story. Get it?
Yeah, I heard you the first time.
Just saying, I'm glad we could come together on this show. I could talk about the Beatles 8 days a week because I am the walrus.
Are you having a stroke?
Not yet.
You need to work on that walrus impression. It's not nearly as good as your lion. So, how did you learn all the songs?
I made an alphabetical list.
Clever. Will you share them with us?
I'd love to.
You brought the list so we can see how you do it?
I can certainly share it with you after I read it.
You haven't memorized it.
I'm supposed to have a research staff and a photographic memory.
Just go ahead.
Abbey Road. Mythology 1. An Anthology 2. An Anthology 3. An Anthology 4. The Beatles for sale.
Those aren't songs. They're albums.
Yes, but the songs are on the albums. Learning them would have saved so much time. Did I mention they had over 200 songs?
Speaking of time, it seems we are all out of it for this segment.
Do you think my list will impress the bartender?
Now that would be a monumental achievement.
I can go back again.
Absolutely not.
Fascinating.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
What was that?
I was quoting The Princess Bride.
Which one? Snow White? Cinderella? Sleeping Beauty? Wait. I think Sleeping Beauty had a name. Sleepy? Sneezy? Can't believe I don't remember.
Aurora.
Look at you. I stress out and you swoop in to cheer me up with your lion impression. Aurora. Was that a lady lion that time? Oh, was it Nala? Is she a princess? I know she's a queen when she marries Simba. Wait, do lions get married? I'm confused.
Confused. Now there's a word we both know the meaning to. Let's bring out our last guest. If it goes like the others, we can all be confused together.
Please welcome Quinn Arden.
Hey guys.
Thanks for being here.
Both on time and fully dressed.
So, tell us about your monumental accomplishment.
Well, it's not just mine. Half of it goes to my fine feathered friend.
Who is it, a bird?
What other kind of friend would have feathers?
A Native American chief wearing a ceremonial headdress, a soft pillow with a smiley face, or a dancer with one of those colorful, fluffy scarves.
A boa.
I don't think snakes have feathers.
So, Quinn, what have you and your bird done?
I've trained him to recite Shakespeare.
When you say recite Shakespeare, you don't mean he simply says the word Shakespeare?
He says a lot of things. Speeches, soliloquies, sonnets.
So only words that start with S.
He speaks full sentences with a British accent and everything.
The lady doth protest too much, he thinks.
I think. So how long did it take to train your parrot?
He's not a parrot.
Cockatoo?
No.
Parakeet?
No.
Raven on the midnight dreary.
He's a duck.
A duck.
Yep. I named him McDuck.
McDuck? That sounds like something I'd order with a McShake and McFries.
It's actually a pun on the name Macduff from the Scottish play.
Disney has a character named Scrooge McDuck. Top hat, glasses, bags of money.
Different duck.
Yet somehow more believable.
So how did you and McDuck meet?
I was reading Shakespeare aloud in the woods when I started to hear my words come back to me. First, I thought it was an echo, but I noticed some ducks across the pond and I figured out one of them was communicating with me.
Because that's much more logical than your echo theory.
I decided to call the talking duck over, so I shouted, "Duck!" and all the people swimming in the pond went like this.
Because the word duck means get out of the way.
No, because the ducks flew over to me, thinking I was calling them.
You have the power to summon ducks?
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
How did you find McDuck in the crowd of ducks?
None of them were talking at first. So I read Shakespeare as I walked along the path, and McDuck was the only one who followed.
Were you leaving breadcrumbs?
No. Though I did eat a sandwich and toss pieces of the crust behind me at steady intervals. Deep in the woods, we set up camp and we delved into the Bard.
Is that the name of a river?
We stayed up all night. I recited lines and McDuck repeated them.
You weren't dreaming or imagining things because you were tired from the hike?
And the swim.
I was totally refreshed. Found a delicious patch of wild mushrooms that made the perfect snack. We recited to be or not to be, friends, Romans, countrymen, fair is foul and foul is fair. We really chuckled about that one, since ducks are foul.
I think ducks are kind of sweet.
They are with the right kind of sauce.
It was a transcendent night, but things took a sad turn in the morning.
Oh my, what happened?
I got a little
Hungry?
ambitious. Shakespeare elevates language and explores relevant themes, but everyone knows the greatest form of theatrical expression is
Miming? Juggling. Close-up magic.
musical theater.
You taught McDuck show tunes?
Well, I tried, but it didn't go as planned. Let's start with Chicago, I said, and McDuck moved away a little bit. I figured he didn't like Bob Fosse, so I suggested we shift to Oklahoma. He moved away even further. McDuck obviously thought Chicago and Oklahoma were locations I was suggesting he migrate to. Thank goodness I didn't say South Pacific.
Or Greece?
Grease refers to hair gel and motor oil, not the European country. They're spelled differently. McDuck's not stupid.
So, what did you do?
I tried to think of a musical with a non-location title, but I made a poor choice in shouting, "Cats!"
McDuck thought you were warning him about his natural enemy?
I think he just really hates the movie version. Anyway, he flew to the top of a tree, and I panicked and called out the most innocuous musical I could think of, "Bye-bye, Birdie!" And McDuck, thinking I was bidding farewell, shed a tear, lifted a wing to wave, and flew off, never to be seen again.
So, Quinn, you have nothing to show for your monumental achievement,
I have my memories.
but nothing to show us on our show to prove this happened.
I can demonstrate what he sounded like.
You want to imitate a duck.
I wish to pay tribute to an artist we've lost by recreating, to the best of my ability, his distinctive voice and the brilliance of his craft.
That sounds lovely. Please.
Wah! La 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 la. Ooh. Quack!
That was it?
Wasn't exactly Shakespeare.
I thought it best that McDuck be remembered for his own words.
It will certainly be memorable. In fact, I'm remembering something right now. Our show's about to end.
Oh my, you're right.
McDuck, if you're out there, I'd just like to say
Parting is such sweet sorrow.
I was actually going to sing So Long Farewell from The Sound of Music.
Our show's ending just in time then, since we can't afford the royalties for that either.
Thank you. It's lovely to have you here.
And lovelier to have you gone.
What a quack.
I'm glad you said that. I didn't believe a word either. I just realized what you meant.
What a quack. Not as good as your roar, but definitely in the top 3 animal impressions of the night.
You don't believe any of that story is true.
Why not? Is it so hard to think positively about our guests?
I'm positive they're nutcases.
You go ahead and be dark and doubtful. I'll always choose to see the bright side.
There's one bright side. We've reached the end of our show. Been quite an evening, folks. 4 guests we'd like to forget.
Wait, we have a 5th.
What do you mean?
Someone texted asking if we could sneak them in. They're on their way now.
Didn't realize they were literally gonna sneak in.
It's for my safety and yours. I can only stay for a few minutes.
Longer than you were originally scheduled.
The name's Taylor. I can't reveal my last name, but I will flash my identification code for authentication purposes.
Well, that clears things up.
Welcome to the show, Taylor. What's your monumental achievement?
I discovered the secret of time travel.
Which is?
Something that must remain a secret.
Okay. Thanks for coming. Glad we could chat.
Wait, I can talk a little. I just need to keep the details secret for the time being.
The time being? Is that a magical entity who controls the future?
No, it's a common phrase that means for now.
Oh.
So, when did you invent time travel?
40 years from today.
So it hasn't happened yet.
It has in my timeline.
I'm confused.
You're confused by time in general. Brighton here is even baffled by the clock tower downtown because it's not digital.
That thing? 2 or 4. An odd number of hands is not natural.
40 years from today is later for us because we're starting from today. Taylor started 40 years from today and then came here. So her today is our later.
You believe me then?
Not at all, but I understand the logic of your lie.
Not a lie. I really am from the future.
Well, you know about our clock tower. All you need is a DeLorean and a lightning strike, and you can go back to the future.
Not how it works. I did enjoy those movies, though. The first 3, anyway.
They only made 3.
There are 5 now. The future's full of sequels and reboots.
That's fascinating.
Of course, they'll probably start making time travel movies now that I've invented it. They got it all wrong. All the old movies did. Avengers Endgame, Avengers Endgame 2, Back to the Endgame, Avengers Endgame 3, End of All Endgames.
Making up movie titles doesn't prove you're from the future. However, side note, I would watch all of those.
Oh.
I know it's tough to prove my story. I mean, I could tell you the name of a future president, or the winner of So You Think You Want to Be America's Next Top Mass Survivor Bachelor Chef. I could even tell you the name of America's next top Mass Survivor Bachelor Chef who becomes president. But you still have to wait years to verify it.
Next top Masked Survivor Bachelor Chef. Sounds so fun.
Well, the chefs cook any bachelors who are voted out. It's pretty dark, actually.
Now I really want this to be true.
So did you bring anything from the future? Something to prove you're from there.
I'm traveling kinda light. Oh wait, my phone!
That looks exactly like my phone.
Yes, but this is the 40th anniversary model, specially designed with a retro look, to perfectly resemble the original product. It was cool when I got it, but not particularly useful at the moment. Helps me blend in though.
Let's pretend your story is true for a moment. Why tell us?
For legal reasons, I have to announce my discovery, so there's recorded proof. But to protect my secrets, I wanted to do it in front of the smallest possible audience.
So you came here?
Exhaustive Exhaustive research reveals that this episode of Monumental Accomplishments was the least watched television broadcast in history.
You mean in all of history?
A podcast in Siberia about air conditioner repair drew a bigger audience.
I'm pretty sure they don't use air conditioners in Siberia.
Pretty sad, isn't it?
I don't know. They probably save a lot of money on their electric bills.
I checked all forms of media. Newspapers, radio stations, internet sites. None of them reach fewer people than the two of you tonight.
Our very own monumental achievement. You tuned in on a special night.
No one tuned in, Brian. That's what makes it special.
Nobody? Not even my grandpa? Maybe he finally figured out how to use his remote to change channels.
Maybe.
You're from the future, do you know?
Let's just say your grandfather's in a better place.
I hope it's Channel 8. Grandpa would love my telenovela.
Of all the times and places you could go, you chose our low-rated talk show tonight. Seems like a waste of energy.
Time travel doesn't use energy. Not any that's been invented. I may have said too much.
And yet, nothing at all.
I just have to be careful.
Careful. No one's watching. Even I'm thinking of taking a nap.
No one's watching now, but they will. Millions of them. Your least watched broadcast in history will actually become the most viewed video ever.
Because you announced time travel?
That's how it starts. Conspiracy fans try to dissect my story, but people discover other reasons to watch too.
Like what?
Like the first TV appearance of Parker Melton.
Game player?
The game changer. Super rich philanthropist in the future. Strategic genius. Helped the military sink battleships. Built a better mousetrap. Definitely winning at the game of life.
All that playing actually paid off?
Paid off a lot of things. Parker won her first $1 million on a game show called Lucky Duck. I can still picture McDuck high-fiving Parker at the end of the bonus speed round.
McDuck.
The talking duck. They were on the game show together.
The host of Lucky Duck is an actual duck.
Don't be ridiculous. The host is a robot. McDuck is the celebrity who helps contestants answer trivia, Shakespeare, show tunes, geography. He's amazing. Never quacks under pressure.
And McDuck's a celebrity because Quinn imitated him on our show.
People love that impression. But McDuck really became famous when he rescued someone who was stranded on top of Mount Heinous.
You mean Mount Highness?
It was renamed Mount Heinous when Knox Donahue moved into a giant cave up there.
Why does Knox need a cave?
Wouldn't be much of a supervillain without an evil lair.
The psychologist became a supervillain?
Right here on your show. The interview plays like an origin story. You even suggested the supervillain name.
Dr. Psych?
It's thrilling to watch the descent to madness happen in real time. I mean, Dr. Psych has done horrible things, but it's great TV.
Well, couldn't you have traveled back through time a couple of guests earlier and stopped the whole supervillain thing from happening?
Actually, that would have been a great idea. Wait, it would have been too risky.
Would have saved people, but killed the ratings.
No, well, maybe. It's complicated. Everything has to play out awkwardly now so it turns out amazing later.
Well, what about Jess and the Beatles list?
Let me guess. Dr. Psych manipulates the human mind, eradicating all memories of popular music, making Jess's scrawled note of album titles the only recorded proof the Beatles ever existed.
Nope, Jess was just an idiot.
The list doesn't lead to love?
Not for Jess.
Well, for who then?
If you must know, the list inspires the two of you to talk about the Beatles during a candlelight meal after tonight's show.
We never talk after the show.
We barely talk during the show.
Things change, hands touch, sparks fly. There's a romance, a wedding, and a child who grows up to perform a monumental achievement of their own.
A child?
That's impossible.
A child who defies the impossible. A child who discovers the secret of time travel.
I thought you discovered the secret of time travel.
I did, using things I inherited from each of my parents. A makeshift skateboard forged from a bookshelf, and power harnessed for my ability to roar like a lion.
You're saying that you're our child. Our child?
I am.
And this is true?
No, I was just joking. Oh man, that was hilarious. Another big reason people tune in. That gotcha gag is considered one of the most classic pranks of all time. You should have seen your faces.
I'm confused.
Actually, you will see your face. A photo of you saying that catchphrase becomes a popular meme.
Stop. Back it up. Let's try this again.
And that becomes the audio for a TikTok dance. Stop, back it up, let's try this again.
So, you're admitting that you made all of that up.
Just the last part.
Which last part? You mean the roar-powered skateboard? Or the candlelit dinner Beatles chat? The hands touching, sparks flying, romance, marriage, baby.
Only time will tell. Oh, the time! I gotta go.
What do we do when you leave?
Celebrate.
You don't have to do anything. Just wrap up the show like normal and you'll go viral.
Doesn't mean we get sick, Brighton.
Oh, good.
Just give it a little time and the show will blow up. I promise.
What?
Doesn't mean it explodes.
Oh, good.
Everything will happen that's supposed to happen. There's going to be a perfect storm.
That doesn't mean severe weather.
Oh,
Actually, in this case, it does.
we're gonna be hit by some kind of tornado, tidal wave, meteor shower, aren't we? Oh,
No, nothing like that. It's just an earthquake, hurricane, lightning storm.
what?
It creates a perfect ending for the show. I just can't stay to see it.
Why not?
I've got to get to the clock tower so a lightning strike can power me back. Those old movies got some things right. Good luck.
Goodbye.
Good grief.
That storm thing was another joke, right?
This whole show was a joke.
Should we sign off to be safe?
We should sign off to be done.
Right. Well, we've reached the end of another episode. Thanks to our guests for their fascinating stories.
Or inane babble. Either way, you've made me feel worse about my life than we did before we started.
Thanks to everyone for watching, too. Not tonight, I guess, but in the future.
A future filled with time travel, talking ducks, and supervillains.
If we survive the storm,
That's not going to happen.
we're not going to survive.
It's not going to be an earthquake, hurricane, lightning storm.
Are you sure? I feel trembly.
You're shaking because you're nervous.
I hear wind.
You're hyperventilating.
I hear rumbling. Thunder!
That's your stomach. You've got to eat more than cheese, crackers, and toast.
You don't believe a single thing we heard will come true.
I'll believe it when at least one thing actually does.
My grandfather. He is in a better place.
I'm sorry.
Me too. He sent a selfie from a late night bingo party, but he promises to watch next week. Taylor was right.
About one thing. Okay, maybe two.
See? Things are actually happening, just like Taylor said. Look at the bright side.
This is the bright side?
I don't know. I'm confused. I'm not looking at the dark side, am I?
It's a distinct possibility. We should hunker down in the editing room. Grab your chocolate bar so we don't go hungry.
And you bring your birthday candle in case we lose power.
I hate that sound. I'll play music to drown it out.
Any Beatles?
I want to hold your hand.
If it gets any scarier, I just might let you.